Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Gabrielle Ray and I present missing persons cases, unsolved homicides, and unidentified persons. And today I have another missing persons case to go over with you guys, and it is the case of Wojciech Fudali. He is missing out of Narragansett, Rhode Island, and he was only 22 at the time of his disappearance. He was born August 31st, 1986. He is a white male, 5'10", to 6 foot, 195 to 205 pounds. He has blue eyes and light brown hair, has visible acne, and was not wearing any clothes at the time of his disappearance. He has a tattoo of a black eagle with yellow and green background under his left rib cage. His nicknames are Wojciech and Tek, native of Poland. Gap between his upper front teeth, and he has shoulder-length hair at the time of his disappearance. In 2008, he graduated from the University of Rhode Island, which at the time was one of the biggest party schools in the nation. He was born in Poland and grew up in Wilbraham, Massachusetts. He was proficient in English, Spanish, German, and Polish. His roommate had stated that he became very interested in nature and also very religious at the time before his disappearance. He spent a great deal of time reading the Bible, and he also began not dressing for the cold weather and would walk around outside with no shoes on. He did not and was not at any point in his life using drugs. Unfortunately, a few years prior to his disappearance, he had lost his brother to a drug overdose. Still, he loved to travel and explore different cultures and just spent a semester abroad in Germany. In the days before his disappearance, he spent his time looking for his first post-collegiate job, hanging out with friends, and surfing. He was described as full of ambition and also told his mother that he may be coming back the following Saturday. After that, she had never heard from her son again. He was prescribed anti-anxiety medications before his disappearance, but his roommate said that he had stopped taking them cold turkey. He had stopped taking his Xanax and his Adderall because they quote-unquote did not work. But that could actually be very detrimental to your health because quitting cold turkey can in turn cause seizures, psychosis, suicidal thoughts, panic attacks, and more in both of the drugs. The FDA warns against using these with alcohol because of possible adverse reactions and quite even possibly death. On the night of December 5th, 2008, he had gone to sleep early, but his friends woke him up because they were going to have a fun night of partying. His friends, Zachary Diamond, Sean Casey, and Caroline Madden, were all recent URI graduates as well and woke him up around 10 o'clock p.m. They went to Charlie O's Tavern on Hill Cove Road and then decided that they wanted to go to another party afterwards. He had only had one glass of wine at the tavern the entire night, and then when Diamond left, they ended up picking up another friend named Burton Wilkins, who was walking home from another party at the time. They ended up heading to Wilkins' house, where they arrived around 2 o'clock a.m. Madden said he seemed off, but not extremely off. The group stayed overnight at Wilkins' house, where they were awakened sometime around 5 a.m. to the sight of him naked and hitting himself over the head with a metal pole, saying, "Trust me." The group stayed overnight at Wilkins' house, where they were awakened sometime around 5 a.m. to the sight of him naked and hitting himself over the head with a metal pole, saying, "Trust me." No one seemed intoxicated, and Wojciech seemed alive, composed, and sober. None of his friends were strong enough to take the metal pole that he was hitting himself with away from him, though. They ended up calming him down, but then he was lying there, naked and crying on the floor. The group didn't call for police or an ambulance and ended up going back to sleep. When they woke up the next afternoon, he was gone, and the clothes that he was wearing were folded neatly on the floor. He left his sneakers, car keys, cell phones, Massachusetts driver's license, debit card, and $86 in cash along with his clothes at the house on East Shore Road. His friends initially thought that he had gone out for a walk, but then realized that he had indeed been naked still. When he still had not arrived at 1:30 p.m., Wilkins reported him missing, and the group was fully cooperative with police. Police set out on a search for him, on foot and also using canines and helicopters. Upon canvassing the neighborhood, police realized that he was seen twice after he had left his friend's home. The first sighting was a neighbor who had seen him at 8:30 a.m. sitting on a dock, nearly naked or so. Ken Costco, who was the first witness, saw him staring at the water for a long period of time near the home that he was last seen at. He didn't quite know him, but he did see that he was naked, and he couldn't 100% confirm if this was really him because of the fact that he did not know who he was. At the location Ken had seen him at the dock, was a book open to a page about being, quote-unquote, one with the sea. At that point, police had thought that he had gone into the water, and so did the Coast Guard. Police concluded that he was either hiding after a mental breakdown, or maybe on land or in the water in the Galilee area, because of the fact that another witness had seen him running down the Galilee Escape Road or on the grounds of the 120-acre Galilee Bird Sanctuary. The Coast Guard had theorized that he had jumped into the freezing water and drowned. Police and family put up missing persons flyers, even though they did think that the outcome was dire. He also wouldn't have been able to survive long in the lack of clothes that he was wearing in the 30-degree weather that day. An increase in body temperature does occur when taking Adderall, which may explain him undressing. Adam Wallner recalls seeing a man jogging in the southeast direction of the marsh from far away, either naked or in his underwear. Police concluded that that was the second sighting of Wojciech before they had completely lost sight of him. In the week prior to his disappearance, on December 6th, 2008, Newport police responded to a report of a distraught, disheveled, and undressing man walking along a cliff with a Bible in his hand. Police determined that that was Wojciech, shoeless, only wearing pajama-like pants and a t-shirt. Police determined that he was fine, but he wasn't directed to any hospital or any other services. They believe that if he did not run into foul play, then he must have sustained a head injury by his own hand or maybe possibly somebody else's. He could have run off disoriented, and he's maybe homeless somewhere, not knowing his own name. He could possibly be utilizing a mental health service or any social services and maybe living an unhealthy, uncommon, or very dangerous lifestyle. His mother, Anna Fudali, says that there's nothing left to lose. They cannot do this anymore. They can't live with this. They will no longer be quiet and just wait. She believes that he is alive because of two very uncommon circumstances that have happened after his disappearance. 1 year after his disappearance, his mother got a phone call. It was a child's voice asking for Wojciech. It was very bizarre, and the call ended up being traced to a woman in Puerto Rico and really led nowhere. Though his mother had spoken to him 3 days prior to his disappearance, she said that nothing was out of the ordinary and didn't notice anything wrong. But his friend said that he seemed depressed and despondent in the days prior. The note, which was written on a post-it, had said, "I miss you. Love, Wojciech. I am at the vet." But his name was spelled wrong, and a handwriting analysis provided inconclusive, and again, went nowhere. He had a promising future ahead of him, and his mother only wants to see him happy, healthy, and back on track. His family has submitted DNA so it could be compared to unidentified human remains in the future. Detective Scott Vallone says that this is very strange, and that now he believes that he may have suffered some sort of mental breakdown. Not only does his mother believe he is still alive, there was also no evidence that could suggest foul play, neither at the residence or at the Galilee Escape Road. Bill McIntosh walks the marsh off of Bluff Hill cover with his Australian cattle dog to help find missing people, and decides that he does not want to give up looking for Wojciech. Also, the director of Missing in New England, Terry Weber Mangos, wants to help the family either find him or his remains, and visited Boston homeless shelters to find him. There's a $4,000 reward for any information that directly leads to him, dead or alive. His mother had sent letters to the 4 friends, hoping that they will contact her. There's a fundraiser set up by the family. I will link it in the description to his GoFundMe page. Police are still following up on any new leads in this case. If you or anybody you know have any information on Wojciech's case, please call the Narragansett Police Department at 401-789-1091. Name is case number MP5446 and agency case number 08-19200F. As the Providence Journal stated, could Fudali's attempt to quit his medication suddenly, or the possible mixing with other drugs or alcohol, have resulted in a mental break? Did he run into the woods, water, or swampland in Narragansett and die from exposure? Why has his body not been recovered? Did he commit suicide? Did he run off in hopes of living a simpler life elsewhere? These are just some of the questions that have tormented the Fudali family for almost 10 years. Well, now for over 10 years. But this case is extremely important to present because this is a man who is at his most vulnerable, and he is still missing to this day. Any of those questions presented could be probable causes of his disappearance, but we may never know. Except one person, somebody somewhere out there, besides Wojciech himself, possibly, even does know. And we need to present all the information that we can about this case and share all the information that we can about this case to show that people still do care about cases like this that are over 10 years old, and though may not have gotten a lot of public reach, that is now. And though this might not make it to many people, I hope that the people that it does make it to keep their eye out for Wojciech. Once again, his date of birth is August 31st, 1986. He is a male, white, 5'10" to 6 foot, 195 to 205 pounds, with blue eyes and light brown hair. He has visible acne, not wearing any clothes at the time of his disappearance, has a tattoo of a black eagle with yellow and green background under his ribcage, and the name Wojciech and Tek are his nicknames. He is a native of Poland, has a gap between his upper front teeth, and has shoulder-length hair at the time of his disappearance. Please, please keep your eye out for Wojciech Fudali. Anyone in the Rhode Island area, or even outside of the Rhode Island area like myself, will be keeping an eye out. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good night.